Sometimes as an artist, we're so focused on leveling up that we forget the basics, or we hit a wall and feel lost in how to improve. I know I have. I've visited this thought process too many times to count, to a point where I wanted to give up drawing. However, a push to keep going came from a place I never expected. It came from my day job, where I work with kids. Before I dive in, let me just say, owning a channel while working with these little guys is like having a secret alter ego, like I'm Batman or something. And in the past, I have made the mistake of letting a child know what my channel was back when I had a duo channel with Telsaria. And for the record, kids cannot keep secrets. One day, he asked about my channel in front of a whole bunch of other kids who then were eagerly asking me what it was, and we were getting so off track and he couldn't remember, but he was trying to, and it was a little bit of a mess. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't believe there is much on my channel that inherently is bad for kids to watch, but I never intended this channel to be for kids. So I have to play it safe. Thus why every video says it's not for kids. It only takes that one adult who wouldn't like my content, complain to my place of work if I shamelessly advertise to their child, and I'm not making any money on here right now, so I would prefer not to lose my day job that pays the bills. Thank you very much. So, sorry kiddos, I can't confirm what my channel is, especially in the workplace. I have to responsibly keep my secret identity under wraps. Now, with that said, let me gush over some of the lessons these kiddos have taught me. Now, this is going to sound really cliche, but if you don't witness it firsthand, I feel like it's really easy to take it for granted. And that is, we draw because we love it. Most of the time, when I see a child draw, they're not thinking about things like perspective, proportions, color theory, whatever subtle nuances I know about art. They just take that, crumple it up, and throw all of it out the window. They tackle the canvas, which is most likely a sheet of construction or computer paper, with nothing holding them back. When drawing is given as an option for free time, I've seen kids' face they just light up and they're so excited about it. The level of enjoyment they get from drawing, even if it's not as refined as mine, is unmistakable. When they're drawing, there's a level of, I don't care what I'm drawing, so long as I'm drawing. Then they see me drawing and want to draw with me. I don't know how many pieces of artworks I have handed out to kids in the past few years, but it's because of them I fell in love with drawing all over again. The process from start to finish no longer became something that was tedious and arduous and just maybe painstakingly long or too far drawn out. It actually became something to cherish from the moment I make a first mark to basically adding the last final touch of a signature. Rediscovering that fundamental reason of why even pick up the pencil made way for me to enjoy so many other aspects of my art. Once I reinstalled, if you will, the idea that I draw because I love it, it began to change the way I looked at not just mine, but other people's art. When kids see me drawing, not only does it resemble some kind of magic as they fully don't understand my skill level, but more likely than not, they'll be in awe of what I've created and it inspires them to create alongside me too. So, how many times have you, a growing artist, well, it doesn't matter your age range, you could be teenager, young adult, older adult, even somebody out there, you're just trying to mature and refine your art skills. How many times have you looked at other people's artworks that seemed so much better than yours and thought, wow, what I draw is crap? Me, I'm guilty of that. It took me a while to break away from that mindset that, as a kid, I don't think I had. The majority of kids who've seen me draw or have some of my drawings become inspired, and in turn, witnessing these guys' level of, I don't care that I can't draw as good as someone else, in turn is really inspiring to me. it becomes much easier to look at all types of artwork and genuinely become encouraged by it instead of nitpicking what I can or cannot do as well as someone else. In fact, it was my art that allowed me to connect so well with these kids my first year at my new job. I quickly became the lady who would draw you stuff if you just asked, and it became so overwhelming I had to put a limit on how many could ask a day. This goes into what they taught me next, and that is, art should be shared. Too many times I've been caught in the mindset that my work wasn't good or polished enough to be put online on my socials, shared with some friends. I would just kind of keep it tucked away and kind of like in a private stash that nobody should know about. Yet, I will say it was always comforting when I'd have a small downtime moment to be doodling in class, and sure enough, eventually, I'd be approached by a child who would take one look at it, maybe give me a compliment like, "Wow, you're so good!" And then a few seconds later, they would ask, "Can I have that?" This made me realize that there was value in what I did, even if it was something as simple as a small sketch. I've seen kids hug my drawings to their chests like it were gold. I've had the opportunity to witness them give these pictures to their parents, knowing that the drawing would be safe so that they could go play. I've opened lockers to fetch the child's stuff while they've waited in the office to go home and seen my artwork taped to the inside of the door. And not too long ago, a boy was asking me if it was raining out because the sky was overcast and he brought nothing but himself to school, but he had the chance to basically leave with one of my drawings and he didn't want to get it wet. When I give one of my drawings to a kid, I can see it in their eyes. They've been given something so invaluable. And in some instances, they'll draw me something to give back. And I'm going to tell you now, I've kept every single one. Art should be shared. So make that post, put up that work in progress, courageously and shamelessly promote your art because I can guarantee others out there would love to see it too. I don't know how long I will continue to be in this job, but I look forward to giving out more of my art to these guys. Another thing that I've had the opportunity to witness is how eager children are to learn. A couple of times I've been asked, "May you teach me how to draw blank?" It's honestly an endearing sentiment. My first year, when it was time for library, almost half the class checked out how to draw books because of my influence. They've even asked for paper for their quiet reading time so they could try drawing what they saw in the book. Before COVID hit, I actually made a small drawing club before school with some of the grades. I'm unsure if anything I taught them stuck, but I can recall a few of the simple techniques made at least one of those students' draw drop. I blew their little minds, and it was amazing to see that whoa moment, that awe. Eventually, I found myself wondering, when was the last time I felt the same way learning something new? When was the last time I tried a different technique? Tried to improve something I struggled at? Researched what tools or guides could help me get there? When was the last time I tackled a challenge with optimism instead of feeling like I couldn't do it? That's exactly what these kids do. When there's an instructed drawing lesson in class, almost all of their eyes are glued to the front, eagerly awaiting the next step. By the time they're done with the piece, they're so ecstatic to show it off to their friends, to the teacher, even to me. This bold level of pride they have, I feel in time as we get older, we lose touch with it. By the time I hit middle school, I became self-conscious about my art and didn't want to share it. I was hesitant to try anything new with my art because I felt it wouldn't look right. I lost the idea that learning more and growing as an artist was a fun process, especially when I was a kid. As I grew, I became more hung up on technique, principles, the fundamentals of art that I sort of lost the joy of drawing. Granted, as artists, I feel we head down a similar path. Drawing starts out fun, then something along the way interrupts our artistic process and it can no longer be seen as fun, then usually over time it becomes fun again. However, that middle step, that bump in the road, sometimes I feel it knocks us so hard on our ass that we forget to pick ourselves back up. That drawing, painting, sculpting, whatever and whichever we have as our creative outlet, that outlet, it can be fun again. After all, don't we do this because we love it, even in some small sense? Sometimes we need to take a step back and think about our roots, our early beginnings. And in my case, it took working with kids that made me realize what art meant to me, that I do it because I love it. I share it because I love my work, and I keep learning because this thing that I love, I want to watch it grow. So I'm asking you out there, if you're in a bit of a rut or you're feeling you hit a wall with your art, why do you keep doing it? What reason made you start? There's nothing wrong with taking a step back and rediscovering why you're so passionate about what you do. I hope you'll hold on to that and never lose sight of it. So, well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Tell me below your thoughts and feelings on art for you, and tell me what about some of the fundamental reasons that you started art and why you began. I would love to read through them. Give a like, comment, subscribe, and I will hope to see you in the next video. But remember, everybody, be awesome, be you. Akemi out.